Good afternoon, students. Myself, Dr. Divya Ghildayal. In continuation with my lecture on laser, we have finished till absorption of radiation, spontaneous and stimulated emission of radiation, Einstein's coefficients, population inversion. Now, we will discuss about the various levels of laser, ruby laser, helium neon laser, and the applications of laser. So let us begin with this leftover part of your syllabus. We will first see this is spontaneous, stimulated, population inversion, pumping, and relation between Einstein coefficients. Now, levels, what do you mean by different energy levels? See, these levels which we are talking about here are the energy levels like this: E1, E2, E3, with number of atoms in these states. So the more the energy levels, the better the laser, because then the metastable state and the energy that is falling down, they get a choice to pick up the ground state. The less the number of energy levels, the poor functioning of that laser. And always remember that we need a metastable state for laser action. Metastable means that the atom stays here in the state for more than 10 to the power of -8 seconds. So we require another state, that is metastable state, or else laser action will not be possible with just 2 levels of energy. Then the emission will be a spontaneous one and not a stimulated one. So this question has been asked: explain why 2-level laser system will not have any physical significance, and describe the principle and working of any 3 or 4 level systems. Minimum 3 levels are required for my laser light, because 2 will give me spontaneous emission. The moment I insert a new metastable state, only then laser light will be emitted. So 2-level lasers, 2-level energy level system is not useful for laser action. So what are we going to write the answer for this question? In simple 2-level system, it is not possible to obtain a population inversion with optical pumping, because the system can absorb pump light, that is gain energy, only as long as population inversion and light amplification is achieved. If this is not achieved, the laser light will not be obtained. So we require 3 to 4 levels. Now, one energy level diagram I will explain you in detail. You can carry on this energy level diagram when you are explaining your ruby laser or your helium neon laser. Usually a 10-mark question is there discussing in detail about ruby or helium neon laser, where 5 marks you get for the circuit diagram and 5 marks for explaining this energy level diagram. So quickly, let me tell you the energy level diagram. See, 3 level, you have your ground state, you have your metastable state, and the higher excited level. Laser transition takes place. Here it gets absorbed, it reaches the higher state, metastable state is there. Laser transition is taking place from metastable state to the ground state via this 3-level system. For 4 level, we insert another energy level. This now will give us a varied del E, and this is used for different type of lightning setups. 4 level is always more efficient compared to the 3-level laser setup. Now, ruby laser. Ruby laser. Firstly, let me tell you that ruby comes from the word ruby crystal, which is red in color, and this is a 3-level laser system, and it comes under the category of solid state laser element. It consists of Working element as a ruby crystal, a resonant cavity, optical pumping system, which consists of helical xenon discharge tube. Here I will show you in the circuit. See, helical because it is in the shape of a helix, xenon discharge tube. This is responsible for pumping, that is, raising the atoms from the ground state to the excited state, making the atoms in excited state more than that in ground state. Resonant cavity in which this whole laser has been set up, and the working system, which is a ruby crystal. So the word crystal is coming here, so it is categorized under the heading of solid state laser. Now have a look at this circuit diagram first of your ruby laser. As I told you previously also, that necessary conditions to achieve laser action are population inversion, your metastable state, and a set of reflecting mirrors or optical cavity setup. Now look at this diagram. Everything is there. Your helical xenon tube is giving you the population inversion. Ruby is the working element kept here, partially reflecting mirrors. Because of these partially reflecting mirrors, the laser light which will be achieved will be highly directional, coherent, and monochromatic. So ruby is a crystal of aluminium oxide with some aluminium atoms replaced by chromium atoms. The active substance is the chromium ions with concentration of 0.3 to 0.5%. Flat end faces are made strictly parallel, plain, and silvered. The rod is surrounded by a cylindrical glass tube through which liquid nitrogen is circulated. Liquid nitrogen is circulated here to keep it cool because this laser gets heated up very soon. So we have to circulate liquid nitrogen continuously so that this does not become too much hot. And the tube is made to flash for several milliseconds. Now, millisecond is a very small time. Only small part of energy is used in pumping and the rest is going up as heat. This is a drawback of ruby laser. Because of this, its efficiency becomes down because whatever energy we are utilizing in running this laser, part of it is going up in heating the system and very less part we are getting to pump the atoms from ground state to excited state. And as you can see, flash for several milliseconds. That means the output here is coming in the form of pulses and not a continuous laser beam. So when it is coming out in the form of pulses, its uses also get restricted. Heating is a big drawback, and in order to avoid this heating, we have to use a cooling element to cool down our system. The energy level diagram for our ruby laser, here you can see the ground state. From here, they have reached the excited state, non-radiative transitions, and from the metastable state, we are getting the laser light in our wavelength range of 694.3 millimeter. Okay, sorry, nanometer. The energy level diagram corresponding to operating principle is shown when light from flash tube is made to fall upon the ruby rod. The chromium atoms will absorb the green component and go to chromium atom with a double energy level. The simple uses of ruby laser can be metal working substances for drilling holes in hard materials, high power system for frequency doubling into the ultraviolet spectrum, high brightness holographic camera systems with long coherent length, medical systems for tattoo removal or cosmetic uses, but not long lasting effects of ruby laser can be had because of the drawback of its heating and output coming in the form of pulses. Next, we have the helium neon laser. helium neon laser is more efficient compared to your ruby laser because it has more energy levels compared to ruby laser. Secondly, the heating problem of ruby laser is not there in helium neon laser. Third, it is very light compared to ruby laser. Fourth, we do not require any cooling system in this case. And fifth, population inversion continuously keeps happening on its own in helium neon laser. Why? Because see, helium neon laser comes under the category of gaseous laser. Helium is a neutral gas, neon is a neutral gas. When we fill this neutral gas in our resonant cavity in the ratio of 7:1, then these neutral atoms bombard on their own, keep exchanging energy, and always the atoms in the excited state are more than that in the ground state, because of which population inversion is continuously being achieved in helium neon laser. And then it is very light compared to ruby laser because there we require a cooling system. Helium neon laser, we don't require any cooling system. And helium neon laser gives us a continuous output, whereas the output in ruby laser was in the form of pulses. And see, it does not require any cooling system. It is using a mixture of helium and neon gas. Its operation involves 4 energy levels, 3 in neon and 1 in helium atom. The excitation of helium and neon atoms to higher energy states is performed by means of high frequency electromagnetic field. Working substance is in the form of a mixture of helium and neon gases in the ratio of 7:1 at a total pressure of 1 torr. The resonant cavity has 2 windows. I told you optical cavity setup. These 2 windows are inclined at Brewster's angle. They are helping in the optical cavity setup. 2 concave mirrors, M1 and M2 at the end, and exciting source here, radio frequency source. For creating a discharge in the tube, it is gradually a radio frequency source of high voltage. This is the construction of helium neon laser. Now let us have a look at the operation of helium neon laser, how it operates. Helium neon lasers are based on the fact that neon has 3 levels of very close to metastable levels of helium. They operate in 3 distinct spectral regions, in red, in the near infrared, and the infrared here 3.39 micrometer. See, because of this facility of it operating in these various ranges, helium neon is more useful compared to your ruby laser. Now let us have a look at the energy level diagram of helium neon laser. If the question is of 10 marks, 5 marks you get for drawing the diagram, circuit diagram, and 5 marks for this energy level diagram. See, helium atoms here are in the ground state. They get excited to the higher state, and because of collision of helium and neon gases, see, colliding, population inversion is continuously happening. We do not need to go in for any extra pumping here. And then they are falling down into various wavelength ranges, and ones which go from the metastable state to the ground state are emitting the laser light. Rest are the spontaneous transitions. So this way, what happens is that we are getting large number of wavelengths emitted via helium neon laser, and neutral gases continuously colliding are helping in the process of population inversion. So when electromagnetic energy is injected into the tube through metal bands by means of radio frequency high voltage source, Helium gets excited to metastable state. The excited helium atom collides with unexcited neon atoms and resonant energy transfer takes place so that neon atoms get excited to a specific energy level. Helium atoms, after transferring energy, return to ground state. Laser action takes place only in neon atoms, while helium in the mixture serving only the purpose to enhance the excitation process. And when population inversion has occurred, they return to lower energy state, emitting the photons. Protons emitted parallel to the axis of tube bounce back and forth between the polished mirrors and stimulate emission of same wavelength from the other excited neon atoms. Hence, photons get multiplied and a powerful, coherent, parallel laser beam emerges from the partially reflecting end of tube. What is the superiority of helium neon laser over ruby laser? Helium neon laser, it gives us a continuous beam of light, whereas the output of ruby laser is in the form of pulses. Helium neon laser does not require a cooling system, whereas ruby laser requires a cooling system. Helium neon laser gives us a nice, highly monochromatic light, whereas the output of ruby laser is in pulses and not in a very continuous form. What are your general uses or advantages of laser? Laser you can hear a lot in medical applications for your LASIK eye surgery, kidney stone removals, curing of cataract. Laser light has been used a lot in drilling and metal purposes, in spectroscopy. They are used a lot, lidar, light detection and ranging. In holography, they are used to create holograms. 4-level laser over 3-level laser. Remember, 4-level you get the helium neon laser and 3-level is the ruby laser. So the lasing threshold of 4-level laser is lower, efficiency is higher, required pumping rate is lower, and continuous operation is possible. Quickly, I will discuss one very easy numerical which is asked in your AKTU paper regarding the population ratio of two states in helium neon laser that produce light of wavelength 6000 angstrom at 300 Kelvin. Population ratio, I told you in my previous lecture, N2 upon N1 is equal to e to the power of minus E2 minus E1 upon KT, where K is Boltzmann constant. N2 and N1 are the number of atoms in the ground and the excited state. From Einstein's relationship, E2 minus E1 is equal to H mu, where H is Planck's constant and mu is frequency. Putting the mathematical values which we have been given in the equation, 6000 angstrom turns out as 6 into 10 to the power of minus 7 meter, because we have converted angstrom into meter, and then we get this energy in joules. If you want to convert it into electron volt, put the value here for N2 upon N1 equal to e to the power of minus E2 by E1. We have found this value. We will put it here. We are left with K and T. K Boltzmann constant 8.6 into 10 to the power of minus 5 electron volt per Kelvin. Temperature 300 Kelvin. Putting these mathematical values, we get N2 upon N1 equal to e to the power of minus 80. Quickly, we will revise what we did in laser. In laser, full form, light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Requirement of necessary conditions for laser action, that population inversion should be there. Then the population inversion, pumping should be there, and good optical cavity setup should be there. 4-level laser is more efficient compared to 3-level laser system. Ruby laser is a 3-level system. It gives output in the form of pulses. It requires a cooling system. Heating is a very big drawback of ruby laser. Comparatively, helium neon laser is much better, light, easy to carry, gaseous, does not require any cooling system, and population inversion happens because of the collision of helium and neon gases in it. Thank you. Bye.